Hello and welcome back to my channel, Kylie's Bookworks. Today I'm going to be giving you my July wrap-up, which is a bit late, but you know, it's just being summer months for me. I've been really busy traveling and stuff. So before I get started, there are important links down below if you can take a moment to look at them for Black Lives Matter, Stop Asian Hate, and helping Indigenous peoples. And then I also have my Goodreads and my Readerly linked down below if you're interested in following me on other platforms. So for July, I only read 6 books just because I was really busy, and as part of that, I decided that I wanted to change my reading goal for the year. So my original reading goal was 250 books, and my plan for that was to reread like my whole bookshelf. But since then, like, just because I had a really busy summer and I like barely been home, I haven't been able to read any of the books on my bookshelf. So I decided I was going to shorten it down to 200, and honestly, what matters at the end of the day is not the amount of books you read, but I think just reading and doing something you enjoy. So I think I would rather do that than be worried constantly about being behind on my reading goal. So there's that. As of right now, I am at 110 books. I may shorten again, or I don't know. I think we'll just see how my pace goes throughout the year. But for July, the 6 books I read, I started off with They Both Die at the End by Silvera, and I read that book last year, I believe. And so I reread it this year for a book club through school. If you don't know the premise of the story, it's sort of a setting in our world where instead of dying unexpectedly, you get a phone call saying, you know, in the next 24 hours at some point, you're gonna die. You don't know how or when or why, but these 2 boys, Rufus and Mateo, both get a call that they are going to die. So they decide to spend their day together, and they become really good friends and like fall in love. So I thought it was really cute. I really like Silvera's writing. I think that he did a really good job with his world building. Next, I read A Pho Love Story, which is about 2 Vietnamese teens who have rivaling restaurants, and their families have this feud going on and they don't know what it's about. And when these 2 teens are forced to spend time together at school for a newspaper club, they end up becoming good friends and falling in love, and their families find out, and they have to figure out what's this whole feud, and they have to figure out how to like stop it and like solve it. And I thought it was really cute, and I really loved the writing for it. And I think it's very Romeo and Juliet-esque. It is a contemporary romance, which isn't really my style, but I really enjoyed learning a lot more about Vietnamese culture and food, and the whole time reading it, I was really hungry, and I really wanted to try all of these really amazing dishes they were talking about. So, yeah. Next, I also read The Phantom of the Opera by Gaston Leroux, which is the original French book that the musical and movie The Phantom of the Opera was based off of. As far as comparing the movie and the musical, or sorry, the book compared to the movie and the musical, the modern adaptations of the book are much more, I would say, romanticized, and they have like this very pristine romanticized picture of the whole thing. For example, just the settings and how like everything gives me like a very romantic era, sort of like the dresses and the gilded, you know, I don't know, it's much more artistically rendered than the book. The book, I think, is more gritty and more of like, oh my gosh, there is a man living underneath the opera house killing people, blackmailing people, like this is a problem. But I really enjoyed the book. I think that it was a little strange at some parts. For example, Eric, the opera ghost, has this weird like Africa-themed torture room. Like, it's underneath the opera house. And he, like, heats it up so it's really hot in there and there's no water, and he has sand in there. And then there's these metal trees that, like, he uses as torture devices. So, I don't know what he's up to be completely honest with you, but that was definitely really strange to read. Next, I read Echo by Pam Muñoz Ryan, which is a story about 3 kids and this harmonica that connects them all throughout time, and sort of their story, and it's really sweet, and I think the writing is so well done, and the world building and how well it flows, and it's very moving and inspires a lot of empathy towards the characters. Next, I read The Betrayed by Kiera, which I bought on a whim because when The Betrothed, which is the first book to The Betrayed, had come out, I bought the, like, hardcover, like, signed first edition copy. So I bought a hardcover of The Betrayed, and I sort of regret it, but not quite. I don't know. The Betrothed is about this girl, Hollis, who goes to the castle in order to, like, try and win over the king. And so she sort of does, but then she ends up falling in love with a commoner, and his name's Silas. And then, like, there's a big plot twist that I don't want to spoil for you, but that, like, mainly feeds into The Betrayed, but The Betrayed, like, completely ignores the whole first book. It was a complete mess, but the writing was pretty good, and it was, like, the romance was pretty good. I'm gonna do a video later on of my thoughts on the whole series, so if you want that, like, talked more depth, check out that soon. It'll be out, I don't know when. And then lastly, I read The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood. I don't remember. My book isn't on this shelf, it's on the other shelf over there. But I read that one. I think that one was a really easy to understand, I guess, what if story, and, like, delving into understanding society's view on women. I'm at a loss of thought, but I really enjoyed it, and I enjoyed the writing. It is more of a older audience book, and then there's also the writing at some points I think can be a little difficult to understand because it switches between present time and flashbacks, and it's not very clear when that happens. It's more of a stream of consciousness, which I think was a interesting choice for the piece, and I think it worked well with the story that Margaret was trying to get across to her readers. So yeah, those are the 6 books I read for July. So as I said before, I am going to do a book review, a series review for the Betrothed series by Kiera, which will be out soon. And then I'm also going to do an episode-by-episode review of Loki. I'm not completely sure when that will be out. That's just something I'm really interested in and I really wanted to do, so that's what I'm gonna do. But anyways, I hope you all have a good rest of your week, and I will see you next time.